Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Everyday Carry for the Everyday Guys. So today we're going to be talking about EDC knives, but before that I got to do some admin. So it's my birthday today, well not actually today on the day of filming, but today on the day of the release of the video. And usually on my birthday I do a giveaway. That is happening again this year. I will be doing a giveaway as usual, and what I'm giving away is something kind of special. The Olight i5T EOS. So if you were a fan of the previous iteration, which is the i3T, you are definitely going to love the i5T. I can't talk too much about it just yet. It's not available in the country. Obviously with Corona and importing and exporting, etc., things are super slow in that regard. Torch SA are doing their best to get these in. As soon as they are available, I'm going to get my hands on an extra one, which I'll be doing a giveaway with. And obviously also I'll be doing a review of this one. By the way, in the background, that is my bug out bag. That is my bug out box. A lot of people don't know about the concept of a bug out box. We'll talk about that when I do my bug out bag review. I'm just doing some other things with the background that I usually film on, so just bear with me for this one. This is my laptop, but don't worry about that. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so you don't miss the details of how you can win yourself an Olight i5T EOS. You will probably, if you do win it, be one of the first in the country to get it, because I think I'm the only person right now who has one. So that's that. Let's get on to knives, EDC knives. So if you've been following me on social media, you'll know my EDC knife has changed. I used to run Benchmade Griptilian. Now this isn't a standard Griptilian. This has been modified by the guys at Ultimate Edges. Ultimate Edges are the only people I trust in South Africa right now to modify my blades. So if you're looking to have blade work done, definitely hit them up. They really know what they're doing. So my previous EDC knife was the Benchmade Griptilian. When I do my full EDC, I'll talk about it a bit more. That has now changed to this, the Civivi Brigand. Okay, this knife, I am so impressed with it, especially for the price point. It's like $1,000 less than this. By the way, I got this from Blades and Triggers just before the lockdown. They gave me a call and said, pop into our store. We want to show you some stuff and we have one or two really cool things for you. Blades and Triggers, really cool store. Very well known here in South Africa. I think I would go so far as to say they have the best on show as in walk in and buy knife range in the country. I'm not sure of anywhere else where you can walk in and see that level of exotic knives and literally touch it and feel it. Most of the stores these days are going online, which is cool. But if you really want to get the feel for what you're buying, check out Blades and Triggers. They're practically everywhere. Obviously now with the lockdown, it's a bit difficult for them. Although I do think they're running a 10% discount. This is like a fully shameless plug. I'm not getting anything out of this deal. Blades and Triggers aren't going to give me a cut of this or anything. But I think if you go on their online store, they're running a 10% discount on certain things. It might just be everything ordered online. So check that out if you are looking to get yourself a new blade. So the Brigand, how did it get to a point where it sort of took the place of the Benchmade Griptilian? Firstly, that opening mechanism. So it's a manual opening mechanism, liner locking mechanism, but it is so smooth, right? If for no other reason, go to Blades and Triggers, speak to someone there and say, hey, can I please flick your Civivi knives? They have got the smoothest opening mechanism. I literally sit watching TV doing this. It's pleasurable to the touch to flick a Civivi knife. Man, it just feels right. It's almost like this little opening tab is a button. It's not actually a button, you're actually sliding it backwards. But yeah, it's smooth, it feels nice. Okay, so you can literally sit the whole day just flicking this thing open and it will not be a wasted day. Secondly, I love the blade shape. So it's marketed as a Wharncliffe style. It's not quite. Usually a Wharncliffe blade style is flat edged, right? The edge of the blade is flat, okay, most commonly. And that doesn't lend itself very well to, in my opinion, utilitarian. If you want to know an example of I think, traditional Wharncliffe blade style, look at the Spyderco Yojimbo. Side note, it's my birthday. If anybody wants to ever give me a blade, the Spyderco Yojimbo. It's like all I want in life. I'm just saying, if you said, Ryan, here's a Yojimbo, I wouldn't say no. Back to the review. So it's a Wharncliffe blade style, right? But it's got a bit of a belly to it, okay? And what that means is it lends itself to cutting. The Wharncliffe blade shape is more for chopping, in my opinion. This, with that belly, allows you to cut things in a more natural manner. You know, when we cut, we don't go like that. We tend to do that. Now, having that curve in the blade allows the blade to sort of slide along whatever cutting surface you are cutting against. Another thing that I really like, pocket clip, super deep concealment pocket clip, right? It sits right up to the top of the scales. The scales, by the way, are G10. And G10 versus fiber reinforced nylon, guys, if you haven't touched it yet, G10 feels better. As you know, the thing with the Benchmade, they have got that reputation. The Benchmade does have a bit of better blade steel. This is D2, this is S30V. So the blade steel on the Griptilian is a bit better, although D2 is not like bottom or low grade. It's actually very good. The thing about the blade in this guy that I like is the edge geometry. Now, there's no way I can show this to you. I've tried. I can't get my camera in that close, okay? But the edge geometry is like a razor blade. It's the sharpest knife I've ever got out to the shop. Usually when I send it to Ultimate Edges and they send it back to me, it's sharper than what you get it out to the shop. This blade I haven't had to sharpen. And so firstly, if you are a steak lover and you're hungry, you may want to look away right now. This illustrates that smooth cutting motion that you can get with the Wharncliffe or the modified Wharncliffe blade style that has that belly. But also, side note, if you are ever making steak and it's got a lot of fat on it, I was unfortunate, well, not unfortunate enough, you know when you go buy steak and it's got like, you see it on top and it's like there's no fat, and then you get home and you flip it over and it's like a lot of fat. Anyway, long story short, a good technique to use to make that fat not curve up, this is becoming a cooking channel, not curve up when you have it either on the pan or on the grill, is to make small incisions in the fat, but it's got to only go down to the meat. You mustn't cut the meat, right? So you've got to have a very light hand on your blade. And I found that straight out of the box, the Civivi Brigand handled that brilliantly. It kind of works like a scalpel. It's so ridiculously sharp that it basically glides into fat. Now, you don't want to use a serrated edge there because that's just going to ruin it and you're going to end up going too far. So you want a really, really sharp edge. And the Brigand definitely gives you that sharp edge. It's a real sexy knife shape, right? And strangely enough, it feels really good in the hand. You've got quite good jumping over here. And what a lot of knives seem to be getting rid of is the choil, right? This is so you can get right up on that blade for fine work. It's got quite a nice choil, although it does get a bit sharp towards the bladed area, but still definitely functional. And that single finger groove for your index finger really allows you to index the knife really well, so you know exactly where that blade is. The tip is a point of contention. It is ridiculously pointy, okay? Like the tip on this is a cutting edge all on its own. But on the flip side, you have to be really careful because that for me suggests it leaves itself open to breakage. It's a very, very fine tip, needle-like tip, which is useful for when you want to make really fine incisions. And the thing with knives is, right, a lot of people don't realize the sharper the knife, the safer the knife. Why is that? Because if your knife is sharp, you don't have to apply pressure to the blade in order for it to cut. What happens when people cut themselves is they apply pressure, it slips, and because they're applying so much pressure pre-slip, once it slips, they can't stop it before it touches whatever part of their body that it cuts. A sharp knife means less pressure, means more control. Okay, so a sharper knife, a sharper axe, is actually a safer tool than a blunt axe. Also, guys, one important thing that people ask me very often about any knife I show on my social media is, does the clip allow for wrong-handed people to use it? Yes, it does. So you can switch the clip around if you are wrong-handed. It goes on both sides. I don't know if you can see right in there, right? The liners, shall I say, are skeletonized, which means they are sort of, there's pieces cut out of them where it's not needed to have metal. What that means is it's lighter. It is significantly lighter than my Benchmade Griptilian. What that means, it's more comfortable to carry, it's more comfortable in the pocket, it doesn't weigh your pants down, that sort of thing. Even though the Griptilian was never an issue, you only tend to notice improvements on things once you get the improved version of it. Now, I do want to stress the Griptilian also from Blades and Triggers, so it's not like I'm saying, oh, go to Blades and Triggers and buy this and not this. Both of these are sold from Blades and Triggers. And if you want something with a more higher quality blade steel, then definitely go for the Griptilian. However, if you're looking for something that's going to give you really good everyday carry or EDC usage with a really good blade that lasts, I haven't had to sharpen this blade, and it is still razor sharp. It's as sharp as the day I got it. It's almost uncomfortable to do this. Funnily enough, the day I got it, right, I can't remember what I was cutting. I think I was shaving wood or something because I was just amazed at how sharp it was. And I did this by the blade just to take a piece of wood off. And I ended up cutting into my thumb. That is how sharp this thing is. It's a razor blade sharp. Straight out of the box. It's one of the sharpest knives out of the box I've ever gotten. Now the cool thing is this guy is like more than 1,000 Rand less than this guy. And the only real place you're losing out here is the blade steel. Also, it's not very thick. Okay? It's not very thick, and look at how perfectly that blade sits in the center of the scales. Beautiful. Very, very well made. I have to be honest, I didn't know a thing about Civivi. I didn't even know they existed prior to Blades and Triggers phoning me to ask me to come and have a look at this. And I'm now following them on all their social media. Definitely check them out. They make some really sexy knives. So I almost forgot what you get in the box. First of all, you get a really nice pouch. This is like nylon. Inside the pouch, you get a sticker, which is cool. You get quite a decent sized cloth. Is this a really plush cloth material, and it is useful because the frame has a satin finish, but the blade is that like stainless steel polished finish. So you do want to do that every once in a while, although I don't care what the blade looks like. It's a tool. You get some instructions, which is really unimportant, but inside here is like, you know, that 70s style car material, car seats made out of it. My first car was a Ford Cortina. I think it was a 79 Cortina, which my father gave me. And there were things in it that had a similar feel to it. It's that kind of like really sort of shaggin' wagon plush material. So very cool pouch from Civivi Knives. And that is it. So huge thanks to Blades and Triggers, Ishrat, Karim, and the guys over there who often support the channel, always letting me review and sending me some really cool gear. The Civivi Brigand and Civivi Knives are really, really quite nice, and the more I've seen them on social media, the more I've liked their gear. Guys, don't forget about the competition that's going to be running on the channel soon, as soon as lockdown is over, so subscribe. If you want to see more things like this, please like, subscribe. If there's anything you want me to review, leave it in the comment section and I'll try to review it. That's it, guys. Have a good week. Happy birthday to me. I'll see you soon. Cheers. God bless.